love is gone, that your love is gone.
As the rays of the golden sun made past my room and spread across the rug, I woke up, shifting myself into a sitting position, stretching my arms out, reminiscing yesterday's events. Yesterday was such a great day. I yawned as vivid images from yesterday floated in my head. I still couldn't make myself believe that it was real. It actually happened, and that it wasn't a make-believe daydream. It was an uncanny encounter, so it excited me, but I know I shouldn't expect much. I grabbed my phone from the nightstand, a call from an unknown number, and that too who could be calling me this early in the morning. Usually, I don't intend on taking calls from unknown numbers, but for this one, I somehow felt the sudden compulsion to pick it up. Pushing away my vague thoughts, I ended up taking it. "Hello," I talked into the phone, enforcingly. "Greetings, am I talking to MS? Yee?" I could recognize that the voice belonged to a professional, so it wasn't an inessential call, rather it could be cardinal. So I replied in a bright manner. "Well, yes, you are." "Okay, this is Daichai Sawamura, the manager and producer of the Orions. This call is regarding a caretaker for the members. Since you applied for the job, this call is regarding your confirmation. Will you able to indulge in a meeting today?" he questioned in a monotonous tone. When did I apply for a job like that?" I took a deep breath and continued, trying to sound as normal as possible. "Definitely, sir. Please proceed." I had to sound professional and of knowledge as well. "Great, meet us at the company building at 7 p.m. sharp," he said, and ended the call even before I could say, "All right." Oh my God, I can't believe this. This is the best day of my life. The universe is on my side for sure, treating me so well. But out of the blue, why did Daichai Sawamura contact me? I shrugged off the thought, not wanting to think much over a happening which is so great. Whatever happens for the best, I thought to myself, and went off to continue my morning routine. Time flied by quickly. I bought the grocery for the house, cleaned my house, watered the plants, and tried cooking something for myself, but to no good. I suck at cooking. I didn't realize the amount of time I had spent on unnecessary house chores. I grabbed my phone, checked the time, and horror took over me. "What? It is 6:30 already?" I exclaimed as the meeting was almost in half an hour. I threw my phone back on the bed and I rushed through the doors. I ran into my closet trying to find a suitable outfit for the meeting, and my eyes landed on the most suitable one. Aha! This is perfect. I picked it out and put it on swiftly. It was a plain blue dress, with white strips which ended just above my knees. I wore black peep toes with it and a black bag to go with. I put on some light makeup, opened up my hair, and I was ready to go. So I left my house, sat in my car, and drove off to the company, reaching the building at sharp 7 p.m. I am a punctual person when I need to be. Phew, just in time, I thought to myself, and walked into the building. The company building was magnificent. I took in the view while making my way in. I went to the reception asking for a few details and was told to wait for Daichai to arrive. So I took a seat on one of the sofas and grabbed a Vogue magazine. A few minutes had passed by. I was flipping through the pages of the magazine, engrossed in it to the core. We meet again. I looked up to see a smirking Taehyung. "Oh, hello," I replied, all cheered up. I stood up immediately and in a hurried way and bent before him. "So what are you—" Before he could finish his sentence, Kyo Park popped in. "Hey, who's this cutie?" Kyo said, smiling at me. I chuckled, tugging a strand of my hair behind my ear, and replied, "Hee hee. Well, I'm Hikari. A pleasure to meet you." I bowed to show gratitude. "Yes, so as I was saying, what are you doing here?" As Taehyung tried to finish his earlier cut sentence, Kenma barged in. "Hey there, who is this pretty girl?" Kenma said, checking me out with a smirk on his face. "Everybody back to their dorms, please." Suddenly someone stepped into our conversation, and it was the industrious Daichai Sawamura. "Yay, sure, whatever," Taehyung said with annoyance. "Anyways, who is she and what is she doing here?" Namhyuk asked Daichai in a monotonous tone, scrolling through his phone. Exactly what I was trying to ask Taehyung. I rolled and shoved his hands into his pockets. "This is Hikari Yi, and she'll be your caretaker from now on," Daichai replied with his eyes fixed on me. 1. Good to know. See you then. Taehyung winked, waved, and left along with all the other members, who waved goodbye at me. I introduced myself to all the members before everyone returned to their dorms. "Yeah, so Missy, come with me. There are a few things you need to know before you start." He gestured me to follow, and I hurriedly turned towards him and followed him. He was walking at a quick pace, making it harder for me to catch up as I was wearing heels. I followed Daechai to his office right near the corner on the left of the hallway. I had gotten used to scrutinizing new environments due to the kind of working world I was in. When we entered the room, Daechai motioned me to sit on the chair that was right across his desk, so I took a seat and smiled brightly. But he didn't return the smile. He had expressions similar to that of a critic. He seemed serious as ever. He glanced at me and then continued working on his laptop. "So listen here, Miss Yi. You start working as a caretaker starting tomorrow morning, and before you start, it would be better if you clearly understand and absorb the guidelines you need to follow." He spoke in a very serious, grave tone, and I swear I was a little scared at first. "Alright, so first things first. You will have to get up as early as 5 in the morning and get all the members out of bed by 6. He read out from his laptop and then glanced at me to see whether I agreed to the first condition or not. So I replied quickly, more like in a haste, "Yes, sir," showing a thumbs up and nodding my head at his words with a small smile. "Moving forward, make healthy meals for them," he continued, and I nodded in agreement. Although that would be a problem for me as I don't know how to cook a single thing. Although I live alone, I've never learned how to cook due to the circumstances of lacking time and the inability to learn without a teacher. You can't be seen out with any of the members as a caretaker or a close person, but just as a staff, for that will provide you with a fake staff card. And on top of all the other rules which you can read later, there's one rule which is the most prominent one, he said with a slight increase in his tone, implying that this condition might be consequential. "I'm all ears," I replied, paying all attention to whatever he intended to speak. "Do not get romantically indulged with any of the members," he said, expecting a shook or disheartening expression from me. However, I was good at keeping a poker face. "That's well understood, sir," I replied plainly. "Well, that's surprising. I had supposed you might seem to have objections with that rule, but you seem calm, very calm. Are you doing the job for money or the likes?" he questioned with a spark of curiosity in his eyes. "I wish that was the reason, but I have a reason much more profound and heavier than that." "Yes, that exactly. Money can solve all your problems, as they say." I faked a chuckle before continuing. "Should I return to my house and start packing up my stuff?" I asked him, scrolling through my phone, making him believe that I wasn't a fan, or I'm quite certain he wouldn't provide me with the job. "No dear, you don't have to bring your material, we've already made arrangements for that. A room for you and new items of clothing for you as well. Yet if you require anything from your place, you can grab that later tomorrow," he replied with a smile, a freaking smile. I smiled back at him. Does he think I'm a poor lowlife or something? 'Cause money isn't something I'm worried or concerned about at the least. Not to brag, but I have plenty of it. "Oh, hee, okay." I sheepishly giggled and tugged a strand of my hair behind my war. "So am I supposed to go to their house right now?" I questioned with a glint of embarrassment. It was almost 9, and it would be flustering to arrive at this time of the day. "Yeah, sure. The driver is waiting outside for you," he said with a plain face and dropped me to the entrance gate of the building, after which I entered the black SUV, standing right in front of the building, and I turned around to wave Daechai a goodbye, which he returned with a head bow and smile. I was filled with content at the thought of meeting them. A euphoric feeling spread across my heart. Exhilaration took over me, and I screamed inside, while had an unadorned expression on the outside. It was going to be one hell of an adventure, I could say that for sure. My phone buzzed and I checked the phone instantly, already having a hint who the message might be from. "Got the job," it read. "Affirmative," I replied and stuffed my phone back into my pocket. I was brought back to reality with that message. I wasn't here neither by choice, nor because I was employed out of the blue. All's going according to plan, which I despised at the most. Not allowed to be in a relationship. I sighed at the thought. Well, it's not as if any one of the members would be eager to be with me anyways. But I knew I had feelings for this certain someone, and I knew I had to suppress in order to carry out the task I'm here for. God, just let this pass with ease. I've got a gut feeling this isn't going to be. I'm in a bakery. The air is alight with a warm fragrance of chocolate and cinnamon and spices, notes of vanilla floating through. Wide windows let in radiant sunlight that caresses each curve, edge, and dip in the simple room. Honey golden wood floors and rustic, light tables fill the space with airiness and openness. A long glass bar showcases freshly basked muffins, cinnamon rolls, and a tray of chocolate chip cookies. I inhale deeply through my nose, reveling in the ambience. A cheerful voice pulls my attention to the doorway to the kitchen. In it stands a man in a soft, creamy sweater, whose smile makes a calm, peaceful feeling settle in my chest. "Hi, Namhyuk," you breathe, staring at the tray of sweet rolls he's cradling to his chest. His dimples make an appearance as he motions back to the doorway through which he came. "We've been waiting for you," Namhyuk says sweetly. "Jin made your favorite brownies. Everyone's in the back." I nod and Namhyuk whisks the tray off to the counter to put the sweet rolls inside. Meanwhile, I wander through the door into the back, peeking my head around the frame. Within is an elegant man in an apron, stirring a bowl of dough with a wooden spoon in the midst of a homey kitchen. He's splattered with flour, his rosebud lips pursed in a slight smile. Behind him at a round table sit two more men, chattering with each other and with the cooks. They're all dressed in shades of white and cream and eggshell, the slightest glow gracing their skin to the point that I have to almost squint when you look at them. The way the two at the table speak to each other reminds me of a pair of close siblings. "Jin," I murmur absently, "Kaio, Kenma." The three look up from their playful banter, each gifting you with a bright smile. "Hikari," Kaio cheers. He pops up from the table and embraces you for a moment, then motions back to the table. "You're here. Look, these are for you and your—" He trails off, shooting a sly grin at Kenma and wiggling his eyebrows. "Your man." "Your man? My man?" My peering gaze of confusion doesn't register with the men as they all laughing at Kaio's statement. Kenma passes off a plate of thick, chocolate-studded brownies in my hands. "Peanut butter chocolate chip," chirps Jin. "These are your favorite. Eat them all or I'll stuff them down your throat." "Akaju." I break off an edge of one and pop into my mouth, gasping at the vivid tumult of flavors that cascades across the surface of my tongue. My shocked expression prompts another round of laughter from the men in the kitchen. "That face gets me every time," Kenma giggles. "You always look the same when you eat Jin's brownies." Always? Something about this whole situation is off, but I can't put a finger on why. The kitchen door swings open to admit a sweet baby face with the nose lifted into the air, like a hunting dog on point. "Brownies?" Yuki questions eagerly. "I smelled brownies." And when he smiles, I have to blink in surprise to make sure that adorable gummy grin is real. "Those aren't for you," says the oldest. "Get out, you vermin." Yuki groans and persistently tries to reach around his elder, his long, pale fingers grasping for the plate in my hand. "I'll die without them," groans the man dramatically. "Hikari, do you want me to die?" "Hobai," Jin yells as he simultaneously runs interference. He's swatting Yuki's hands with weak blows, mainly using his tall body as a shield between the smaller man and the plate. Like a knight prepared to slay a dragon, the lean Hobai comes roaring into the kitchen at his friend's call. "Protect," Jin shouts, pointing at you and the brownies. Hobai performs a tiny military salute and then takes the brownies in his hand, throwing me over his shoulder in one smooth movement. I let out a tiny oof, when all of the air is forced out of my lungs at the impact. "I needed to find you anyways," Hobai says, his voice jumping up and down in pitch as he runs. Once I make it out of the door and into the front gate, his footsteps slow down. "He asked me to come and find you." "This feels so weird," you mumble to yourself. "It's not normal. This isn't normal. Why am I letting these men lug me around wherever they want? My mind is foggy and vague. How did I get here again?" Hobai carries me through another staff door, into a small room that's equipped with a table, refrigerator, and a microwave. It looks like a break room of some sort. At the table sits another man. His black eyes are trained down on a sheet of paper, fingers clasped lightly around a mechanical pencil. His full lower lip is trapped by his white teeth, nibbling as he concentrates. When Hobai lets me down on the floor, My feet thunking to the floor, the man looks up. And when his gaze clashes with mine, all of the breath is knocked out my chest, like someone just sucker punched me in the lungs. Taehyung, I breathe. He tilts his head, watching you with haunting doe eyes the color of the deepest space, the darkest storm. Hey, princess, he says. His voice rumbles through my chest like a bolt of thunder, the name sending waves of warmth screaming through me. Without my consent, my body drops into the chair across the table from him. Hobai sets the brownies on the table and slips out the door, leaving me and Taehyung alone. Said ebony-haired man drops his pencil and stretches his arms over his head, yawning. You brought me brownies, he groans, reaching for the plate. He takes one and chomps a big bite out of it, chewing happily all the while as I work to process what's going on. Parallel universe. New life. Did I die in a car crash? I don't understand. Here mumbles Taehyung through a mouthful of peanut butter chocolate chip crumbs. Have some. I know Jin made them for you. Gingerly, you take a brownie and nibble on it. What's going on? I ask. Taehyung's brow furrow and question, what do you mean? And why are you sitting over there? He leans over and hooks his long finger under my chair, dragging me to him with a scraping noise across the floor. When my chair is pressed to his, Taehyung grins in satisfaction and lays his arm across the back. That's better. Ooh. Staring at him as if he's a rabid alien, I slowly shake my head. What the heck? The two of us just recently met. Even as I stare at him, Taehyung's eyes soften indescribably while he gazes at me. I take another bite of brownie to hide my blush and fix my gaze on the table. Hey, says the beautiful man beside me. His finger hooks under my chin and directs my eyes to him. For a moment, the two of us simply watch, tracing the curves and the lines of each other's face with delicate intensity. Then Taehyung leans forward in his chair and envelopes my bottom lip with his. Holy crap. I don't know how to react as he gently licks my lip, feeling the moist warmth feeling of his mouth tongue against me. He draws back long enough to sigh, you had chocolate on your mouth, before he leans in for a deeper kiss. I can't do anything but clutch the strength of his shoulders, letting him guide me through the small pecs. One of his hands cups my jaw, the other trailing down to rest at the small of my back, pressing my body toward him. Taehyung's kissing me. Taehyung. The guy everyone wants. The famous Korean idol. The person I just met yesterday. He pulls back and licks his lips slowly, smirking at my dazed expression. Yeah, Jin's brownies are my fave, he says silkily. But nothing can taste better than my princess. Holy heck, I push in a jumble of words to create a breathy response. What kind of drugs did you put in your coffee this morning? He laughs and pecks me on the fleshy part of my cheek before withdrawing back into his space. He picks up his pencil. What are you talking about? What am I talking about? I'm crazed, theatrical, numb with disbelief. Since when are we on kissing terms? Since when are we on any terms at all? We just met each other. A frown bends Taehyung's lips into an upside-down U. Yeah, we met each other, he says slowly. But that was like 2 years ago. We've been together for a long time now, princess. Are you all right? 2 years. I sit back in my chair, stumped. Is this a vision? Some kind of jacked-up hallucination? Taehyung lifts my left hand from the table, cradling up in his bigger hand like a precious treasure. His lips grace my knuckles, and his teeth nip at the tip of one of my fingers. Then he sighs and says, I love you, Hikari. And that's when I jerk awake. My head pounds and I lay limply in the back seat of the car, thoughts racing over every single event that just happened inside the most beautiful nightmare I've ever had. Katie? And me? Together? PFFT. I snort at my own thought, like heck that'll ever happen. I squint my eyes open and find that the car had stopped near a bakery and the driver was out to purchase some stuff from there. Well, that's where the bakery part of my dream must have come from. Well, what a lovely dream it was. It was a dream, wasn't it?